Hello students, welcome to another session of e-learning in Panchkar. Today we will be covering fifth module of Vaman, in which we will start with Pradhan Karma. As we all know, Pradhan Karma starts from where the Vamanopadravya is given to the patient and lasts till Shuddhi is achieved. While describing Pradhan Karma, Acharya Charak says, Tatastam Purusham Snehesveda Upapannam अनुप्रतमनसम अभिसमीक्ष्य सुघोषितम सुप्रजीर्ण भक्तम शिरस्नातम अनुलिप्त गात्रां सृग्विनम अनुपत वस्त्र संवितम देवता अग्नि द्विज गुरु वृद्ध वैद्यान अर्चितवन इष्टे नक्षत्रातिथि करण मुहूर्ते कार्यत्वा ब्राह्मणान स्वस्ति वाचनम प्रयुक्त अभिराशि भी अभिमंत्रितान् meaning after the patient has undergone Abhyang and Swedan procedures and has had a sound sleep with peaceful mind and has digested previous day's food properly, taken head bath and given garland to wear so that he feels good and is wearing untorn clothes, has worshipped and paid respect to elders and guru and the physicians. He should be administered Vamak Yoga after being blessed by the chanting. This chanting helps in two ways: pacifies the mind of the patient as well as is said to increase the potency of the medicine and prevent mishaps. The chanting is Om Brahma Dakshashvi Rudraendra Bhuchandra Artha Nidaran Lah Rishyahasta Aushadhi Grama Bhut Sanghasya Pantu Te Rasayanam Ev Rishinam Devanam Amritam Yatha Sudhev Uttam Naganam Vaishajyam Idimastute. The patient is taken for Vaman and seated at Vaman Peeth or a Janu Tulyasan. Janu Tulyasan means a seat which is on which a patient can sit properly by bending the Janu or knees. And an arrangement is done in the front of patient to collect the vomitus. While describing features of Vaman Kaksh and seat, Acharyas have stated that it should be Dridam Nivatsthan. Sukha Pravichara means there should be sufficient movement space. Anupatakyam, Dhum, Atap, Rajas. Anabhigamaniyam means devoid of Dhum, Atap and Rajas. Janutulyasan and Asankin means the seat should not be very sleek. It should give enough space for the patient to sit comfortably. After this, the patient is asked to drink the Vamanopadravya in sufficient quantity as much as possible up to full stomach. After this, the prepared Vamak Yog or Dravya is given to drink or to eat according to Yog. The patient is asked to drink remaining Vamanopadravya to induce proper Shuddhi. But this should be done only after wake starts. Usually, within 1 hour, the patient starts to vomit. When nausea starts, vomiting can be induced or encouraged by tickling the throat with the fingers, back of the fingers. The patient should be advised to not to strain or exert pressure to vomit or to restrain the vomit when it comes. Otherwise, it can lead to complications. During the procedure, a therapist or support staff should be deployed in a position where, when wake starts, they shall be able to hold the patient properly and firmly from sides and forehead. Vomit should be carried out until you can see pith mixed with the vomitus or cough is totally absent. How to administer Vamak According to classical references, there are many methods of administering Vamak which are mixing the Vamak with Sanskarit Duk, Dadi, Yavagu, Masras, etc. Repeatedly administering Yashti Madhu, etc. squat, which is Sanskarit with Madanfal. First, the patient should be given Duk, Dadi, Yavagu, Masras, Vamanopadravya, etc. Akantapan, and then Madan Faladi Muhammad Yog shall be given. In practice, it is seen it is better to administer Dugdh, Ikshurus, etc. Vamanopagravya for Akantapan and then Vamakdravya, which can be followed by other Vamanopagravya like Yashti Madhu Fant, etc. to induce proper Shuddhi. During Pradhana Karma, the patient should be observed carefully and his or her position should be maintained properly so that there is no discomfort to the patient and a Vaidya can take decision on the progress of procedure. After Vaman drug has been administered, the patient should be watched carefully for at least 1 minute, that is approximately 48 minutes, and symptoms expressed during this time help a Vaidya to judge the activities of doshas progressing in the body. This we will discuss in the later slides. Acharya Sushru states that when salivation starts, the patient should be instructed to sit in a comfortable position because it indicates that Vaman is about to start, Veg is about to come. And for collecting vomitus, a vessel should be kept ready and patient should be instructed to vomit without doing Veg pravartan and without straining himself. The urge of vomiting may be excited by opening wide the lips, palate, throat, and by slightly bowing the upper part of the body. A dormant urge may be excited by tickling the throat with two well manicured fingers without having long nails, and or with stalks of blue lily, night lotus, or white water lily. While laying emphasis on the importance of positioning of the patient during Vaman, Acharyas have stated various precautions and the complications which may arise due to wrong posture. Especially Ashtanga Sangrah states that a patient should not be allowed to go down too much or to a lesser extent, otherwise complications may arise. Commenting on which, Himadri has clarified that extremely stretched position of neck can create pain in back, chest region, especially in the area. Extremely forward bending can cause headache and abdominal discomfort. Extreme tilting on the lateral side can produce chest pain on the sides, abdominal region, and in heart and above area. Specific lakshan have been given which indicate the position of dosh or dosh gati during the process of movement. First of which is appearance of sweat, that is Sveda Pradurva. The process indicates that dosh have been liquefied and the changes are produced due to Ushna Tikshna properties of the Vamak Dravya. Doshas are fragmented and exuded through stool and anustota cells. Romaharsh or articulation occurs due to when doshas are moving towards amashay. It is again due to Ushna property and they move towards posture. When we say they, it means dosh. There is Ukshiyagma, that is discomfort in abdomen or distension of abdomen. It happens when doshas enter amashay. It happens due to anupravan bhav by them. Nausea and salivation, that is prasad and relax, along with pain in chest region, indicates that doshas are moving towards mouth region in an upward direction. It indicates it is done because of excited nature by Udana Vayu, which happens due to Urdu Bhagahar Prabhava Vamak Dravya. Specific requirement of care of the patient during Vaman Karma has been given by the Acharyas, for which different support staff is required. First is required for Lalat Pratigrah. It means holding at the forehead when the patient goes down to expel the vomit. It helps in relaxing one's overstretched neck muscles and to prevent entry of vomitus into the nose. Also, prevents too much of forward bending. Parshva Grahan, that is, muscles at the sides of the chest originating from back region are stored properly, and it helps to keep the body straight and prevent spasm, which occurs due to the force of vomiting. Prishtonmardam, meaning gentle massage in the opposite direction over the muscles of the spine, which again helps in relaxing the back region muscles, preventing too much of forward bending and spasm. Nadhi Prapidan. Nadhi Prapidan is done just when the wake is coming so that most of the content can be pushed out in a single way. And this helps the abdominal muscles and diaphragm to move upwards and helps in making it an effortless evacuation of water. How to assess whether a bout of vomiting is vague or vague? While describing the terms vague and vague, one should provide attention to the way in which both are produced and thrown out of the body. There is a large variation observed in the production of vague and vague in every patient. The factors which are important to differentiate between vague and vague include quantity, force, and time. The prime factor in quantity is how much vomitus is expelled out in a vague and an vague. In vague it is scarce, while in vague sufficient quantity of vomitus is obtained. While describing foods, Hindukas says Sukhat Agataha means a vague should be easily and effortlessly expelled out, whereas the vague might require some force and stressing. While assessing time, it should be observed that most of the patients expel a vomiting bout suddenly using very little time. In case of vague, the force is more and the quantity is also more as we have already discussed. But some patients may produce less quantity in a bout which is coming from bottom of the stomach. But when it is a vague, it will be in a prolonged breakless stream, whereas in vague, it will be small bouts and having break between them. What is the importance of assessing each vague? First, it helps in analyzing the Shuddhi Prakar, whether it is a Heen, Madhyam or Pravar Shuddhi, which helps in planning of consulting. Acharya Gangadhar states that a Vaidya can make prompt decision after sensing chances of complication which may happen by keeping his mind alert and assessing each way properly. For example, observing from Rakta Chandrika, quantity as well as number of waves which have already occurred. The quantity-wise measurement of vomitus after each wave gives the clear about idea about the Vamanopag or Vamak Dravya which is still inside the body. What are the types of Shuddhi or the variation in Shuddhi which can be observed? First is Vegaki. In Hini Shuddhi we get 4 waves, in Madhyam Shuddhi we get 6, and in Uttam Shuddhi we get 8 waves. And according to Maniki Shuddhi, are 1 and 2 plus in Heen, Madhyam and Uttam Shuddhi respectively. Laingiki Shuddhi can be assessed according to symptoms, and Antiki Shuddhi can be assessed according to pith presence or cups absence. With this, we come towards the end of Pradhana Karma, and in next session we shall be covering different type of symptoms which are obtained in Shuddhi like Samyak Yog, Ayog, Ati Yog, etc. Their Chikitsa, Vyapak, and Paschat Karma